Yeah. Bean,
That was a great clap.
evening recording. Why am I tired? Beans, how you doing, man?
I'm doing just fine and dandy. Finals around the corner. Buried in work. Sleeping in a cave as I usually do.
Yeah. As this is released, I think finals is like the first day of finals when we release this. So anyone at St. Joe listening, we're with you, man. It's such a struggle. It's been a very interesting COVID finals week or preparation and all that.
Yep, it's been very tough. So, in preparation to get you loose, goosey, we brought you a little snack, a little bit of fresh air, a little bit of happiness in your life. Um, Community award winner and all around happy man, Emanuel. That's his name. God is with us. Right here. He's right here. God is with
right
us.
Here.
Go, God, go.
Go.
I mean, you can call me Manny. But yeah, Emanuel is in here.
Yeah, let's go.
And was it September Community Award winner?
I can't remember.
You were like, I don't know.
It was one of the. I think it was the first one. I was shocked.
I know we were in macro and we heard it, dude. Everything.
So
in macro.
It was a female Community Award winner. Marie and I were both in the same classroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reynolds' class is a powerhouse, dude.
It just everything happens there. The greatest podcast ever made was created in Reynolds.
For sure.
And he got the community award. Great things. We're gonna jump right into it because I kind of feel like what we plan on talking about today is gonna be talking a lot. At least some of them for me. There's some interesting stuff I want to discuss. First things first, because it just came up recently and it wasn't something that I prepared. I just all of a sudden heard about this. I don't know if Beans will be too excited about this because really Manny and I are the only ones that really discuss stuff involving the MCU. There will be 3 Spider-Men in the next Spider-Man movie, and I am flipping out. Manny, how do you feel about this?
So, you see, I am not I'm not very social on Instagram and stuff like that, but I did find out through the grapevine. I think it was actually no, I saw a YouTube video. See, I don't watch a lot of YouTube, but all of a sudden I just happened to click on a link that said Spider-Man 3 or something about 3 men. And it was very confusing, but I was like, I got the idea that there would be 3. And I called it complete absurdity because, nobody believes that there'll be 3 of the same character in the movie. But it'll happen, and they'll explain it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beans, you heard about this? Are you at all?
Nope, never heard about this before. But obviously Into the Spider-Verse happened. Now that obviously had a main character, dude. But yeah. I guess they're just normalizing it. They're just there are multiple Spider-Man.
That's cool. It's like they're kind of breaking. I wouldn't say breaking the 4th wall. It's like breaking the 5th wall, maybe. The wall of movies can't merge like that. The fact that there's been 3 Spider-Man and they're just you know what? All this stuff with Sony, we've been in a fight. Now we're kind of okay. Let's just merge them all and we'll all be happy.
Oh, really? Is Tobey Maguire going to be one of the Spider-Man?
Yeah, that's what we mean. That's
what
we mean. So Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland are all going to be in the same Spider-Man movie.
And they're going to be Spider-Man?
Yeah, just different universes.
We're going to get another Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
You know it.
Yeah.
Yes, the memes. Think about the memes, people.
The memes are going to be amazing because there's memes from all 3 of those franchises. But obviously the best one is from Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man.
Oh, my gosh.
Guys, of course. No, but, this also begs the question. How many scenes can they, I don't know. Do you think Marvel is smart enough or at least going to consider adding more, subliminal messages? The first Spider-Man movie had, the third Spider-Man movie from Tobey Maguire series had, the one dancing scene. I want to see that again.
I don't know if that was intentional for the memes. I seriously think they were just trying to do something new. But now, in today's culture, movies literally will put stuff in there just for a meme. There's so many things that people put in movies that are we're gonna meme this. This is gonna be a meme.
Exactly.
So, yeah, so when you said 3 Spider-Man, I immediately thought, oh, it's gonna be original Spider-Man, Miles Morales.
Oh. Well, no, they are thinking of casting someone for a live-action Miles, but this is strictly – I don't know if he's going to be in it, but this was strictly talking about the veteran Spider-Man along with the current Spider-Man are going to be in the same the same movie. And they also said they're bringing back. I forgot his name, and I feel bad because he was such a good Doctor Octopus. I forget his name. His name.
Oh, that guy?
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
Yeah, I don't know his name, but yeah, he killed it.
Oh man, I feel Alfred Molina. Yeah, Alfred Molina. He was really good. They're also bringing Jamie Foxx in as because he was a villain in Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man movie.
Oh my gosh, he was Electro.
Yeah, it was cool.
I forgot. I PTSD'd. I repressed those memories of Jamie Foxx in Spider-Man.
Kind of creepy. It was a little, yeah.
I definitely repressed those memories.
Wait, is that the guy who's also? I watched the movie, but isn't he in Just Mercy too?
He's in Mercy Me,
as well.
He's in Mercy Me, Just Mercy, yeah.
What is
Just
Jamie
Mercy
Foxx's
as well.
career?
What?
What is Jamie Foxx's career? I watched him in this one movie, that I really thought was abysmal. It was called, what? Law-abiding citizen. Law-abiding citizen. It was supposed to be serious, but I was laughing the entire time because it was so poorly made.
Well, Beans, your perspective is like no other, so who knows? It could have been a very depressing movie, and you thought it was hilarious. I don't know.
I promise you, this movie was like a cartoon, and they just wanted you to take it seriously. I don't understand.
Yeah. He's been in a lot movies. He's doing a Mike Tyson biopic. He's gonna play Mike Tyson.
Really?
Yeah. There's been pictures on his Instagram of him getting like in shape for it and stuff. So
why can't we just have Mike Tyson play Mike Tyson? I like that.
That would be.
Oh, Benjamin.
Just Mike Tyson. He's just I don't know, 60 years old, and he's fighting these young kids.
Really good casting right there.
I mean, isn't he still up and running? He could honestly do it. Yeah.
He literally was talking about coming back.
He has come back. Technically, I forget who. I'm not in the boxing world, but I mean, I watched.
Whoa.
Yeah. Anyway, so from Spider-Man and Mike Tyson, awesome. So I mean, I just wanted to talk about that a little bit, just because I remember when because MCU is kind of in what would you call it? I mean, they're definitely obviously everyone's been hit by this 2020 and not being able to release a lot of stuff. But before that, they're kind of in an afterthought phase. Then they're trying to build it back up because they just everything was climactic at the end of their recent phase. And I remember when that stuff was coming out, Manny came to me and was like, "Hey, what's this Marvel thing? What do you know what's going on with this Avengers stuff?" And I was like, "You haven't seen any of this?" He's like, "Yeah, I should probably watch that before Endgame comes out." I was like, "Yeah, you should do that."
I can't believe that we're talking
I didn't really recall that, dude.
What?
So mad at all this. I'm so mad that we're talking about Marvel without Wumbo.
Yeah, I thought about, we're definitely going to have Wumbo and talk about stuff like that because there's other stuff to talk about. There's so many things to talk about. I'm not going to say.
But I shut Manny down. Go.
Yeah. No, what was it? I vividly remember that, but can we also talk about how one of the better movies of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, it just came to me, was the first Iron Man movie. I don't know why. It's just it's my favorite. It's a classic.
I mean, it was
can't go wrong.
It was the first one. Was it? Oh wait, no, it was. I mean, it is a classic. It's pretty good. It's crazy how far even big production companies, that make movies like the MCU's universe. It's crazy how far they've come from a movie like Iron Man to what they did recently. I mean, movies in general. I'm a movie geek, and I love the fact that the cinematography and even the acting has improved in so short a time. Just because I say acting just because people are starting to change an idea of what good acting is for certain types of roles, and it's really cool. I like that.
Yeah, it is crazy how they've been consistent through all of this. You would have thought that maybe they'd make a more realistic movie like Iron Man with some solid characters, and then they get into this goofy stuff and kind of lose track of how to make a great movie. Yeah. But instead you're still getting these Infinity War with Thanos, who becomes one of the most popular characters of recent memory just out of nowhere. he was nobody before they picked him up and put him in this movie.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a huge. There's gonna be a lot of people that hate me for this. I love Marvel, but I'm not a huge comic book reader. And
Blasphemy.
Manny, were you saying something?
No, that's blasphemy, dude. I'm just kidding. I don't think a lot of people read comics.
Yeah, no, not a lot. But I mean, I kind of knew who Thanos was. I didn't know who that was. And then all of a sudden the movies came, and it's like, this guy's the best character so far. I mean, yeah, it's crazy. Like you said, it's crazy how consistent, despite, I mean, as serious as you can get with space magic and flying robots and stuff like that. But it stayed somewhat consistent, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Manny, how's your or how do you feel about? Did you finally like watch all of those movies? Were you able to see all of them? Because I remember you watched Endgame after seeing maybe 3 or something like that.
No, I think you have it confused with me watching the Star Wars saga.
No, it was Avengers too.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
because it definitely. Okay, here I'm trying to think. I definitely like in my young life I watched the big movies. So I didn't watch Doctor Strange before Endgame, and I didn't watch another movie. No, I watched everything. Oh, what's the one with the lady superhero? Oh, Captain Marvel. I don't watch those two. So they probably would have been, yeah.
So that's not too bad, actually. Like there might have been a few moments where you were like, "What's happening?" But
yeah, just slightly confused. But I mean, I've definitely watched Endgame like 3 times, 4 times maybe.
It was cool to see, like, when they released Infinity War and Endgame, it was like Marvel just started saying, okay, if you haven't been paying attention by now, we're not even going to give you background, because we've been giving you background for the past 20 movies. We're just going to go ahead and start, because if you haven't been following, then you shouldn't even be here. Just leave, come back later.
No, yeah, I think to understand some of the small references in this movie, you definitely had to watch 20 movies worth of films, Marvel movies, to understand like the small things.
Yeah, that's true. And so, yeah, I mean, it is tough like with that, but I think they found a good balance of like being able to reference those things, but also not making it too dependent on it. They just made a solid story first, and then all of these components they were brought in. But I think that you could still understand the base of what was happening without every little detail.
Yeah, imagine like going back in time now after watching all those movies and like going to the release of Iron Man, and you're sitting there like, but just get to the really cool part, because you didn't know that they could do something as cool as Infinity War Endgame. So you're sitting there watching Iron Man, which is a pretty good movie. It's really good, but like you're sitting there, you're like, I've watched a blockbuster that destroyed Avatar. Can we just get to that now? Because you would be so frustrated. Or you wouldn't. Maybe you would be excited to relive that. I mean, I guess it'd be kind of cool. But you'd be sitting there knowing what could be, and you're like, just get to the good part.
Well, like, I mean, it was like back then, you think, like, I'm watching the peak of cinematic, like, Marvel Universe, like, a flying man in a suit of armor, which I may add, looked pretty realistic for the time. And then, like, knowing that 20 years, no, not 20 years, 5-ish, 10-ish years later, you would see a movie, like, with a talking tree fighting in space. That's a big jump, which they still managed to do pretty well.
This kind of reminds me of what SWOLE is talking about. Is like, it reminds me of a lot of stuff with like music, especially. Like you listen to some like 50s rock or some like 80s rap, and you're like, this is so just like limited. And now we have like so many more abilities. And so it is kind of crazy to say that like within like a decade, like we have so much more that we can do with movies. But yeah, it kind of really like blew open the door for what people are going to allow in their budgets and what people are going to think is possible, because like Marvel was able to pull this off.
Yeah, I mean, when you mentioned, stuff like, like pop and rap back in like the 80s, I mean, it has its own unique kind of like, this is why this is great. But also you can see it's like, but there's so much more you can do with it. But it's good that it's like that then, because you can get to what we have now. And a good amount of stuff now is good, but there's still some stuff about that old music that nothing can compare to, because it was old. Which is cool. It's cool that time can do that.
Yeah, like I still think like when I listen to Christmas songs now, I'm like, dang, like the best Christmas song I guess looking at the poll, none of you guys agree with me, but like White Christmas, like holy smokes. I think that's just a beautiful song. And then you hear all of these modern Christmas songs from the Martins playlist, and you're like, nah, they're just throwing stuff into pop beats, and it just does not sound the same. Like, you don't really get that same, like, yeah, feeling. I don't know.
Manny and I disagree with you. We definitely think that, Most Wonderful Time of the Year is the best Christmas song. We're a little biased, brother.
Yeah, just a little bit. But, like, I'm gonna agree with Ben in the sense that I don't really like the pop element or like how it's being more modernized. I like the original. It's where it's at, or like if not the original, like no, basically the original. It's where like it all started. What grew that sensation? I really like White Christmas. It's not my favorite, but like it's up there with like the good Christmas music.
Yeah.
Not like that Martin's pop that he was talking about.
Yeah, there's certain, but there's that few pop Christmas songs that are kind of decent, like the ones that don't try to remake it. People that actually make their own Christmas songs. There's only like a few. I won't name any in case anyone gets mad at me because I'm trying to think of some right now. But there's definitely some that have like definitely found something there. But then there's people that just overdo such a great original song, and now I'm tired of the song, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, which happens a lot. We have a lot of covers, and I'm just wondering why the whole time.
Yeah. Everybody wants to add their own like kick to a song, which is, I mean, it isn't bad. But like, I don't know. Well, for example, I like Michael Bublé's covers, or like I'm probably butchering that, but like I like his covers. I'm not gonna listen to that often. I'm gonna listen to original, but like it's up there. It's nice. It's tolerable.
Yeah, I mean Michael Bublé is kind of even though he's would you call him pop? He's current. He's current definitely, but he definitely doesn't sound like he's just some like super pop artist that's turning it into a completely different song. He still has kind of an old sound to his voice just because the way he sings and the kind of songs that he has. But yeah, I mean I would agree with that. There's some other songs. I do like it when people try to make original songs and they actually kind of go high in the charts. It's kind of cool.
Was it Mariah Carey's? I feel like there is. Yeah, hold up.
Yeah, that's like the most recent original. That's because like of all the songs. I mean, I'm assuming you're talking about All I Want for Christmas Is You.
Yes, there we go.
Well, that's like you think about all of the songs that people say, man, these are classics. I wouldn't call that like a super classic, but it's the most recent that was like original, and it's such a popular song. Like you look at White Christmas, and you look at like Most Wonderful Time of the Year, and that was made a long time ago compared to when Mariah Carey's song was made, and hers is considered to be like an original, a common Christmas song.
No, yeah, I agree with that.
It is weird, like, yeah, when it takes, yeah, I guess her song wasn't really made around the same time as all those other ones, and yet we still throw it in that category. Yeah, that is a good point.
Well, if we're wrapping up talking about songs and how we got to songs, this is the beauty of a podcast. I have no clue how we get to certain topics that I wasn't even prepared for. I saw this. It was posted actually like a long time ago. It's like a news thing, but I was looking at some VR stuff the other day, and this popped up. It was posted December 15th of 2017. You guys remember the eclipse that happened that year?
My goodness.
Was that freshman year? Yeah, it was freshman year.
Yeah, freshman year. Wow.
Year. So it clung to my mind because I wasn't able to be at school when we all sat in the bleachers for that because I was sick that day. I saw a little bit of it. I still have the glasses and I was able to look at it a little bit, but I wasn't like sitting in the bleachers. I was still able to see it, but it caught my eye just because I remember I wasn't able to go to school that day. But there's this thing that was made. It's like a video, and you can either just watch it as a video or you can connect it to your VR headset if you have one, and you get to relive that eclipse. And I watched it, and it's incredible how quickly it went from dark and then it came back to light. It's been so long since that happened, and it pulled me back into like 2017 and being at my house sick and looking at it, and I was like, I didn't know what an eclipse was, and I was like, this is actually kind of cool.
Yeah. I mean,
Hmm.
if we're being honest, you didn't miss that much. But it's like, it's fun to think about how that experience was 2017. Like, I totally forgot it. You just, like, triggered a memory that was, like, deep inside my brain.
Yeah.
Yeah, my favorite part of the eclipse was that afterwards I ran like a couple miles in the eclipse glasses, which basically meant that I was blind, but I could see out the bottoms. And I would just follow the person in front of me's feet. But then they like almost had me run into stuff because they would jump out of the way at the last second.
But it was really cool. This thing that I saw, like you can check it out. It's on ABC News. It was posted a long time ago. It's not like current or anything, but I was browsing some other VR stuff, and I found this, and it's really cool that you could relive that. Especially because this one, it's like a guy set up in the middle of some mountains. So the lighting was really cool. It like all got sucked out, and he's in the middle of these mountains, and you can barely see a little bit of the light, and it happens like that. It's crazy. When's the next time we're like expected to have an eclipse like that?
Would be alive for that?
I don't know. Like when?
Yeah, that's a good question.
What would the next eclipse be? Because I remember whenever it was happening, all of our science teachers were like, "This is amazing. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity," and we were like, "All right, cool." It's not that far away, actually. After August 21st of 2017, the next total solar eclipse over North America visits Mexico, the United States, and Canada on April 8th, 2024.
Oh, okay.
Not
So
that,
I'll hopefully be alive for that.
I hope I'll. Yeah, I hope so.
2020 COVID. Anyways, no.
2020 is kind of creeping up on that. We've touched. We don't want to dwell on it too much, Manny, but we've touched on it with every episode we've had. Just quick, how's 2020 for you? Like we talked about it a little bit for a second, and with Mr. Reynolds and all that. Just like a quick thing. We don't want to dwell on it too much, but it is. I mean, it's a defining moment of this entire. This generation.
All right, so I'm gonna break it down as simply as I can. It's been hard because, like, how like staying at home just stinks. Like you're just sad all the time. But your boy got a gym membership, and you think, wow, that's really cool. No, it's not, because it cost me $50, but it gets me out of the house. So you best believe I go to the gym at least like 3 or 4 times a week, because those are $50 I'm never going to get back. And honestly, I'm not seeing progress, but hey, I'm going to the gym, so that's pretty cool.
Were you not able to go for a few weeks? I mean, I assume because you got it and it was obviously COVID, or did you just have to like?
Oh no, so I think the first half of the year was like the summer, and we came into summer, and the gyms finally started opening up after like the 2-month quarantine period. And I was like, I've been home all this time, and I'm like, I snacked a lot because, I mean, what else are you supposed to do when you're home?
Yep, lots of snacking.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, I might go running for a mile. And I was like, I'm not the type of person who goes on runs. So you know what? Lifting weights might be my thing. I got my membership, and it was like, people were like, I don't know, it was crazy. People came in, didn't wear masks. It's kind of crazy. I looked at like an insane guy doing there with their mask on, doing like squats and stuff. But like, and football came around, and I kind of forgot that. Back then, the membership was $30. That's it. I joined like 2 weeks ago again because I was like, I'm home now. Football's over. I don't have anything else to do. Might as well like just try to stay in shape. $50. I almost didn't do it, but then like Angel Vasquez, the previous St. Joe senior here, class of 2020, he left, and he came back. He's in South Bend. He lives here, and he's like, Manny, let's open a gym membership. And I'm like, bet. And of course, me being gullible, I was like, how much is it? Oh, it's only like $20. I go into the gym, and they're like, yeah, it's $20 per month with $30 startup fee. So $50. There we go.
Yeah.
Oh, and I could drive now, so that's my 20.
Oh yeah, Manny can now drive. That's a good time. Manny got swindled into getting swole.
Yeah. So now I'm kind of having to go to the gym every day to make up.
There's the title right there.
Swindled into being swole.
Swindled into being swole.
I mean, like, if you had to pay like that much to go to a place, you know very well you're gonna take advantage of it.
Yeah, definitely. That would be kind of frustrating, especially because like my mom was kind of like, I don't want to. I don't want to say the word paranoid. She was definitely on top of stuff when 2020 and COVID was like all crazy. So if I had like a gym membership and all that stuff hit, she would have been like, "Sorry, you just wasted $50. I'm not letting you go to the gym." Because like you said, some people don't even wear masks. Wear your mask, guys. It's a big controversial thing, but I'm just gonna say it right now. Just wear your mask. It's not tough. It's saving people, even though you don't believe it.
Amen to that.
Yeah. So this kind of relates to COVID. I wanted to talk about, especially since Manny and I are avid Notre Dame fans. Beans, do you watch football?
I used to be the biggest football fan on the planet, but
All right.
then I fell off. So now I will sometimes.
All right. Well, I
Beans,
really
real
just
quick.
yeah.
I recall your Snapchat name being a football team that you really liked.
It's the Bengals.
Is that correct?
Yeah,
being the
Beans
Bengals.
Yeah, after the
Yeah.
Cincinnati Bengals, I was like a huge Cincinnati Bengals fan.
I love that.
Yeah.
I mentioned that because I just wanted to talk about, especially since next week, or I guess in a few days, if we're posting this next week, the ACC championship and a bunch of stuff is happening with college football. I wanted to kind of talk about. I mean, Manny, you've been watching college football. I'm
Yeah.
sure, like I have. How that just COVID and how it's like changed teams, and some teams can't play, and some like key players just not being able to play some really important games. And the fact that like teams that have only like 5 games are possibly could get into the playoffs just because of all that COVID stuff.
Okay.
Did I just dox myself?
What?
I just doxed my Snapchat. All right, never mind. Go, man.
Were you sitting there thinking about that whole time?
I mean, I did try to cover it up. I said Beans.
Yeah,
No, I
I was
didn't
like,
even-
why is he doing that?
I didn't even try. I just said it. Everyone, go follow Beans Bengals unless you want me to
No,
cut.
I don't need anyone. No, don't look at me.
We could cut that out possibly.
Yeah.
No, we can keep it. I don't even care. I just won't follow any of you back.
But I'm gonna.
All right. So we're gonna kind of talk a little bit about how college football and all that has been changed. I mean, just from your perspective, Manny, because you watch it and just like you've seen a couple of these teams are. I mean, like I mentioned, a couple of these teams are going to be going into the playoffs with only like 5 games, or like it's crazy how little games. And our Notre Dame didn't get to play a whole schedule. Was there a single team that got to play a whole schedule? I can't think of a single team that got to.
No, I think no. You're right. There are teams that definitely got a team canceled or they had to reschedule, but no one played their whole 100% like schedule that they were destined to play like before all this COVID stuff hit.
Yeah, like only reason we can record right now is because I'm not watching a college football game. Notre Dame playing Wake Forest, and that stuff got canceled even after it got rescheduled. It's just I didn't realize that stuff like COVID would touch something that is such a routine for me until it started happening. Like I watch Notre Dame every Saturday, and I watch some other teams every Saturday, and then all of a sudden, so many of these teams don't even have games. There's been like 3 or 4 weeks this whole college football season where I've just been sitting at home on a Saturday thinking, what am I going to do? Because I was going to watch a game.
Oh no, yeah. I think like answering your question, like definitely this COVID stuff, touching a bit on it. It's like, well, practices before the season. I mean, like to build chemistry, like, oh, I trust that guy. I know he's gonna catch it, or like I know he's like really good at, going deep and making that play down the field. Like that builds up during like 2 or 3 months before the actual season. That wasn't. I think like a lot of these schools had like what, a month, maybe less, a little bit more to build that chemistry between a team. At that time, it was more rushed than actually like getting the time to build up a program that could succeed. Like you see that now because like Alabama, for example, has always been a really good school, and they're always returning like really good players. And then take for example a school that's like, well, I mean LSU lost a lot of good players, but they also didn't get the chance to like build the chemistry. They have a lot of freshmen stepping up. How are you going to build chemistry when you don't have like the practices before? Alabama, who's used to like this kind of system, they're used to it. They're going to continue. They're going to hit the ground running. LSU is going to take a while because they needed to build that up. And now, like, weeks later, they're probably starting to get their stuff together. But, like, at this point, it's a little too late.
Yeah, I didn't even think about it. You're right. Like, these teams were affected externally from not being able to play certain teams. But internally, so many of these teams barely got to practice and, like, I honestly did not think we would have a college football season, especially with like Notre Dame, because they only started to get to practice like I think beginning of like late July or beginning of August or something like that. But you're right, so many of these teams are getting affected internally as well as externally with games being canceled. So that's kind of crazy how that is.
Yeah, that would explain like the first couple games for that Notre Dame played. Everything looked just ugly.
Yeah. But that was expected, I think, a lot of, like every single one of those teams because I mean, these teams, even though some of these teams that even got to practice, they still can't tackle during practice. At least they couldn't early. Maybe they can now. I'm not sure if they can. I mean, I hope so. Or these teams are just not getting any kind of real practice in. But yeah, I'd like the beginning of the season. Usually at the beginning of the season, it looks rusty a little bit. But especially with COVID, like you're saying, some of these teams didn't even – you're like, right, it looked sloppy. It didn't look good, but that was expected, I think.
Oh, no, totally. Now, like, I'm just going to take the time to talk about – because you mentioned Notre Dame. Like, the first few games were ugly, or at least very nerve-wracking. And I heard someone say that, to sum up Notre Dame's season, Notre Dame plays at the level of their opponents. I literally don't know any other better way to say it. Like, there's been close games against Louisville, and then the really close game against Clemson. The same team was really close against, like, a top team, and then, like, one of the worst teams in, like, college football. I don't know. It's just, like, it really sums it up. Like, Notre Dame is really good or really bad. It just depends on the level of their team, or the opponent, I mean.
Yeah, that's.
Am I wrong?
I mean, yeah, I think that's for a lot of teams that aren't like crazy, like obviously like Alabama. Everyone's freaking, oh, Alabama's good, yeah. But then like teams that aren't Alabama, they're gonna have that. I think that's like, I say that's not super exclusively Notre Dame. That's like a lot of teams that are really good because you're not just gonna be perfect all the time, which is it's both good and bad. It's nerve-wracking for a fan.
Oh yeah. What was the game? Oh, obviously the Clemson game. Really, like the next day, I lost my voice. And I was like, oh my goodness. I mean, I screamed my lungs out. That was a fun game to watch.
Yeah, the next day I had work at 6 a.m., so I did not stay up for that game.
Beans, you got to stay up for the game, man. You got to stay up for a big game like that. Even if you're not like a fan of either team, you got to watch that.
No, I have to have sleep. That's a little bit more important for me.
But there's your exciting way to get fired from work.
Show up super tired?
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Show up super tired and just say, like, please fire me. I'm tired.
Can I say this? The craziest day of work was the day after the first election night. So the day after election day. Because everyone was so tired. There were, like, people, like, preaching at Martin's. They would, like, just walk into our entrance and block it and start preaching. People were going insane that day. Yeah, so you need sleep. That's the moral of the story. Sleep, or else you're going to be doing bad decisions.
Sleep is key. Sleep is key.
Sleep is key, yeah. I like that.
Beans, I'm curious. Just a quick side note. Has anyone, like, from your work seen the podcast and been like, you're trying to get fired? Like, has anyone approached you and been like, what's going on, man?
The first people I told were people from I mean, obviously, so I haven't told like any of my bosses, And I don't know. I haven't put into motion any plans to get fired. But yeah, I wonder how they'd react. I don't know. Like, one of them is an actual teacher or something. She worked at a school. I don't know if she's like a teacher. She'd definitely take it the worst. But the rest of them probably wouldn't care so much.
I mean, I'm sure that they know
yeah.
it's a joke. Like, it's definitely a joke. Unless it's not. If it's not,
I mean, it could become reality. It's a joke that could become reality.
Yeah.
Like a lot of like 2020, you know?
yeah. that's
I like that. Yeah.
That's a great statement. Like, the amount of memes, and people are like, oh, we did that. Oh, crap. It actually happened. Yeah. That's a punch in the face of a reality check. 2020, the year where jokes can become reality, and then reality becomes unsettling.
Mm.
Wow.
Dang, that's
He got deep.
Yeah. We talk about 2020 so much, and I tried not to, but I mean, it's 2020. I mean, there's no, I think no matter what, until we're like at least 15 episodes away from like 2020, it's gonna be talked about because it's 2020. It's like the worst movie that everyone wants to go see. That's kind of what it feels like to me.
Fine. But Manny, how's school? How's life? I want you to just cry on my shoulder, my virtual shoulder, because I can't be there for you because of COVID. I want you to cry on my virtual shoulder right now. Manny, what's up with you?
He says, as he taps his shoulder, just indicating to me that it is indeed real. No, but
It is there.
it is there. It's present. It exists.
The people don't know you, Manny. How about you talk about how stuff's going for you in school right now?
All right. Let's see. Okay, so school is very schooly.
Yes.
I think I finished. Yeah, you agree. You know this English final. I'm finishing that out today. I'm writing it, and I'm calling it a week. I might look over it once or twice, and then that's it.
Part of me wishes that we didn't have so many projects for finals.
Exactly.
I kind of just wish we had tests.
That's where Mr. Reynolds is once again. Awesome. He gave us an assessment, which I love studying.
Assessment that's
No, I hate studying. But he gave me one of my 2 only tests, which I could get over with pretty soon.
Yeah.
You feel? Yeah, you feel.
Yeah, I feel.
Yeah.
I think other than school, life is okay. I'm like, I started watching Guys Grocery Games. Yeah.
What?
That's like the Food Network too. Oh, so I've started watching Food Network because I have nothing else better to do with life than, yeah.
Guys Grocery.
Food Network. Can we
like wishing I had the food that they make?
Oh, yeah.
Can we reflect on the Food Network as a symbol of our culture right now?
Yeah.
Well, can you elaborate first?
All right, I can elaborate. I'm just thinking of this one episode of this TV show I watched where this character, he just goes broke and he's starving and he's just sitting on the couch watching the Food Network. They're like making a burger. What kind of capitalist dystopia do we live in? All right, we're paid to watch people make burgers, but we can't eat our own burgers. All right.
We're torturing ourselves on purpose. It's like the torture of going to your fridge knowing there's no food, and then coming back 5 minutes later, and then coming back 5 minutes later, and then going back
hoping that something will reappear or appear.
Yeah, just hoping that something will just pop back up,
or hoping that the pickles at the back of the fridge will somehow all of a sudden appear very awesome.
Yeah, but it never does.
Yeah, it's like
pickles.
I don't know. We just like to you watch Food Network just because you like to look at cool looking food. What is it? Or Guy Fieri just like.
Oh no, I'm definitely there just for Guy Fieri. No, yeah, he's just so magnificent.
Guy Fieri, what a guy.
I know, if I could have a job, it's like being paid to travel around interviewing restaurants, trying their awesome food, and then coming back again later, you know?
Yeah.
That's actually a good idea. I think that Manny, you should be his predecessor. You should be, or successor. What?
You still call yourself Guy Fieri because I can't handle another person on there. You just show up one episode. It's no longer Guy Fieri. It's just it looks nothing like Guy Fieri. Hi guys, I'm Guy Fieri.
Melanated skin, just me. Hey guys, black hair, just hey.
Hey, I'm Guy Fieri.
Oh, yes, that'd be great.
You get frost tips so you can look like him.
You know how awesome that would be?
That would look. I don't know about.
I'm here for it. Manny, I would not accept anyone else replacing Guy Fieri but Manny.
Do you think I could? Like, I definitely think I would. Like, I love food, dude. I could down, but like, I think wings. I get down like 20 on a good day, maybe 30, but that's on a good day.
Wait, 20, 30 what?
Wings, traditional with the bone in.
Oh,
I'm just like,
okay.
or like, I don't think there's one food that I don't like. I'm trying to think. As you can see, I clearly like food, but we love beans. My culture likes beans. Hey, Beans.
Beans is good. Beans, how do you feel about beans? What's your
How do I feel about beans? Oh, I give this opinion all the time. So I love all my beans equally. They're all amazing, except for jelly beans. Jelly beans are abominations, and they're not even real beans, and I hate them.
Wow, that.
I agree that they're not real beans.
Who hurt you?
They're still really good.
No, wait, what was that, Manny?
Wait, who hurt you? Like, what did beans do?
Yeah.
I mean, jelly beans.
They're amazing. They're not real beans,
like
yeah,
beans
but they're awesome.
No, they're not. They're not awesome. All right, they just taste. They're just sugar. I just don't like them. I don't like jelly beans. They're the worst thing of all time.
Ouch. Okay.
That hurts.
So I don't know. It's just kind of like now it just feels fake calling you beans, but don't like jelly beans.
Yeah,
That's
not real. It's
this is like my reputation's gonna be ruined.
it. I don't know. It's getting there.
beans. I don't know if we can call this BeansTalk anymore, man. It's just gonna have to.
No.
It's just gonna have to be Ben Talk or something like that.
Benjamin talks.
Benjamin Talk. We're gonna make a second channel called Benjamin Talk, or it's just Beans trying to do something without me.
Or Benjamin Talk, where he's just kicked off the show, and it's like Benjamin Talk trying to get back onto BeansTalk,
Yes.
proving that jelly beans are actual beans.
It's gonna be the fallout of BeansTalk. I'm gonna kick Beans off of the channel, and he's gonna make a Benjamin Talk, and he's gonna talk trash about BeansTalk.
Or Marscola talk. No, that doesn't. It's just not funny.
No,
That
it's just gonna
Marscola
stay
talk.
BeansTalk. Just in spite of him, I'm gonna keep it BeansTalk, and then he's gonna make Benjamin Talk.
You want to hear, Scola, do you want to hear what I've been telling people?
What?
They're like, who's this Jacob Marscola guy? And I'm like, and they're like, why did he name BeansTalk after you? And I'm like, well, here's the deal. Here's what's going to happen. All right. So we're going to have, we're going to become big and famous. And we're going to have like this $1 million deal that we sign. And you're going to like find a way to like move around the money so that I basically end up poor. And we're living on the street. You're going to pull up in your limousine with your tie. You're like, Beans, we got to go record. Come on, get in. And we're like, all right, I'm going, Jacob. That's how you're going to do me, Scola. All right.
Because you're the heart and soul, and you need to be on there, but I'm forcing you to stay on the channel.
Yeah, dude.
You think I would pull that on you? Definitely.
So this is about the long run. They're just like, no, this isn't just like a podcast. You guys are thinking of it. No, you guys are like trying to go all the way.
We have no clue. This is just trying.
Don't ruin my dreams. You guys are trying to get Hollywood famous,
we have
aren't you?
absolutely no ambition of going far. Beans, why did you make him think that? We definitely will not go that far. If we do, I'm gonna laugh at myself in 10 years.
We're gonna
You're trying to take this to Hollywood, though, right?
I don't know if you do podcasts in Hollywood.
Bro, don't even question the Hollywood podcast scene. The Hollywood has a giant podcast scene, all right?
Yeah, I don't know.
You walk around on the streets of Hollywood, you just hear people talking, and that's the podcast scene right there, dude.
That's the podcast? a walking podcast where we just
A walking podcast on the streets of Hollywood. Holy smokes. Guys, don't steal this idea. Censor that, all right?
Oh yeah, I'm cutting that out.
We're about to
Definitely
make
cutting that
$1
out.
billion.
No one's taking that idea from us. No one's definitely done that already.
Someone's done that already, you're saying?
I don't know. I mean, it seems like a good idea, so someone's definitely done it because we did not think of it first.
All right, that's fair.
That's kind of sad. You just accepted it.
Yeah, I'm gonna cry now. All right.
Beans, you mentioned that how like I thought you were gonna like in that story saying I move the money around to like make sure you don't have like any cut, and then you show up in my office one day with a lawyer and you say I'm taking all of BeansTalk, and I say how are you gonna do that because my name's on this channel and then you just steal everything, and then I'm on the streets and you're like come on Jacob we gotta record. I'm like fine.
That's not what's gonna happen. You're definitely the Mark Zuckerberg, and I'm the Edmundo.
Wait, no, I don't want to be the Mark Zuckerberg.
Dude, yeah.
Silly beans. We know. We all know Mark Zuckerberg.
You're the Andrew Garfield.
I'm Andrew Garfield. That's right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be in Spider-Man though, so it's all okay.
Oh yeah, but that means what is Jesse Eisenberg? Jesse Eisenberg. If I'm Jesse Eisenberg, that's pretty cool. I don't know. Dude's a magician in some movies. That's all I watch. I feel bad now because there's a couple. Oh, there's a really cool movie with Jesse Eisenberg that I saw recently. It's called I forget what it's called, but he's like a hippie that is secretly a secret agent, and he gets activated or something. And it like changes his life. I don't know. It's kind of cool because it's Jesse Eisenberg being kind of a James Bond kind of guy.
Yeah. Are you talking about Spy Kids, maybe?
No, it's not. I don't think it's Spy Kids.
You guys remember those movies though?
You saying that the curly-haired kid is Jesse Eisenberg?
Dude, Spy Kids starring Jesse Eisenberg, dude.
Yeah.
Please.
Spy Kids, but it's just Jesse Eisenberg. Spy Kids.
Jesse Eisenberg, and he's like playing pretend in his basement.
The whole movie is Jesse Eisenberg playing himself, slowly falling into madness, pretending to be Spy Kids.
Oh my goodness.
I think we have a blockbuster on our hands.
I'm writing that down, and I'm contacting Jesse in like 10 years.
Oh my gosh, that's such a good idea. Can we all reflect on the fact that Jesse Eisenberg is just a more annoying version of Michael Cera? Or
I like him. He's like in movies. Obviously, he's supposed to be the annoying guy, but I think he's cool. Jesse Eisenberg's kind of cool. Oh, I completely forgot about Zombieland too. That's a great movie, and I love him in that. He's cool. You never seen that?
Yeah, I've seen Zombieland because my cousin had me watch it. My review of Zombieland is it's aight. That's my whole review.
It's a good zombie movie just because it's got Woody Harrelson. This was fun. Let's not speak of this. Goodbye.
I know exactly. Yeah, totally. Yeah. Wow. We really took. Well, no, because like I was bringing it once again to Just Mercy. I was watching that movie and they're just like, wow, they're not wearing masks. As I'm wearing my mask, because like, oh my goodness, it's like it just felt wrong. But like,
yeah, that is
obviously it was just a movie.
Also, were you able to go see that in theaters or?
No, I saw it on like Hulu.
Oh, you said you were wearing your mask. I was just wondering.
No, because I was like watching it on my phone as I was in the gym because I can't just sit and watch a movie.
That's kind of a thing. We don't have a lot of time left, but I want to talk about that because I miss movies, man. I miss like the movie theaters. Manny, I don't know if you feel the same way, but I like thrive in a movie theater, and I miss being able to go to the movie theater and see movies. It's not the same sitting in my basement watching it on Hulu. I don't know why. It's just not.
Oh, no, yeah. I miss freaking out about how much popcorn costs at a movie theater.
That's fair. Yeah, movie theaters, it's such a unique experience that we all, like, come together to just enjoy this piece of art. That doesn't happen a lot. And like reactions are so thoroughly encouraged. It doesn't happen a lot today, especially with our divided world. And so yeah, it's really tough to have that taken from us.
Yeah, that's man. I love movies, especially like imagine if like can you imagine like we mentioned how like when Endgame came out it was so big, or when Infinity War came out it was so big. Just imagine, think of a really big movie that you went and saw and you thought it was awesome, and imagine just having to watch that like by yourself or with your family, not in a movie theater, not surrounded by a bunch of strangers, not eating popcorn, and not in like the biggest screen and like in such a dark room. Like imagine how not awesome it would be. It'd still be a great film, but it just would not feel the same.
No, it wouldn't. It was like I'm just thinking Endgame. I was like surrounded by guys or like people who knew what was going on. So like when I freaked out, everybody else did. So like when people screamed, I was like, I screamed too. Now I can do it. I can't do that at home because my mom's like, "What are you crazy?" So, no.
You definitely feel more comfortable if you're in like a movie theater filled with people that are there to watch the same thing as you. Like I remember when I went to see Endgame, and me and a few friends were there, but I remember Serge was there, and we were both sitting there. As soon as he lifted the hammer, we both literally stood up and just threw the popcorn, and everyone looked at us and they were like, "Yeah, I understand." They understood. They were like, "Yeah, I get it."
That's the most Jacob thing too. Yeah.
I'm not kidding. Like it happened, and then like everyone else was obviously freaking out, but there was definitely people noticing the fact that we like actually stood up out of our seats, and people were looking at us like, "Yeah, I mean, I'm not doing it, but I understand completely." I mean, you get what I mean, Beans?
I get what you mean. That's amazing that happened.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of both of you.
You're so proud of us. Thank you.
Yeah, and yeah, that's something that you don't get. I mean, imagine being one of those strangers just sitting there and watching these two kids get up and just throw their popcorn because they just saw something so insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, really cool.
Were you one of the people who like try to get in there like day 1 or 2 of when
We
the
got in
movie
there
released?
the night of.
Okay, see that's good because
I think we got in the night of. I can't remember, but it was definitely either a day one or night before.
I miss having to like I don't know. When I got my Endgame tickets, I came in like 4 hours before the 7 o'clock showing at AMC or something.
Yeah.
I came in 3 hours, 4 hours before that just so I could get the tickets. And which I may add, I came in with 2 other friends. It was like there was only one like group of 3 seats next to each other at the time, so I lucked out.
Yeah. I miss that kind of process. That was because it was the first time I ever experienced the process like that was kind of when, because a movie's not that big unless it's like part of a franchise, or people have to do that unless it's like part of a long like strand of movies. And the first time I ever did that, it was Infinity War. And I was like, man, this is crazy. I don't know if I like this. But then Endgame came around, and I was like, no, I missed this. I'm ready to do this. And now, despite the fact that we don't even have movies to do that with anymore, because there's no build up, and we're gonna have to wait a long time for another build up like that. We just can't do that anymore, and it's very sad because I love the movies.
Oh no, yeah. Good times. No, we were so young and innocent. We didn't take advantage of movies. If I knew this was gonna happen, I probably would have bought the curly fries I really wanted to buy back then.
Yeah.
Wait, so you can remember a specific moment where you didn't buy curly fries and you should have?
Yeah.
No, yeah, because I said I'm like today's just not the day. I'll do it next time. But I already bought popcorn. Why waste even like more money on curly fries?
No, definitely. Like
Yeah.
I remember we were like, I remember the weekend of Are We Gonna Be Back in School? That was such a crazy weekend. But at the same time, it was like, because we weren't quarantined. I didn't actually start quarantining until the first day of school that we weren't at school. And I went to a restaurant. It's kind of like that, like you were saying. We picked up some takeout, and I was like, I don't need more lo mein. I'll get lo mein the next day. And then after that, I was like, holy crap! I'm not gonna be able to get lo mein for at least a month.
Dude. Yeah, I just forgot. There was like 1 month of like we relied on flour and beans in my house.
It kind of felt like that for a lot of people, I bet.
Oh man, yeah, I'm trying to remember back to this. Yeah, no, it was crazy. Yeah, especially because my mom would just like try to like smuggle, and she wouldn't try to steal stuff, but she'd go up to the lane and they'd be like, "You have too many eggs," and then she'd talk to the manager, because we got 8 kids, and so she's trying to feed us all. So yeah, because remember that when yeah, we're like, don't. Martin's put a restriction on how many eggs you can buy and how much milk.
Yeah, that
Really?
for families with a lot of kids. People,
Yeah, that was weird.
People take advantage of your pre-2020 moments. Take advantage of that. Not just pre-COVID, just pre-2020. In the future, you're going to have moments that feel normal again. Take advantage of those moments, please, because you never know when something like 2020 is just going to come back around and punch you in the face.
Yeah, I've never looked so forward to normal. So 5 years from now, I mean, yeah, I hope that I'm gonna be cherishing it a lot more.
5 years from now, you wouldn't even be in college anymore if you took the 4 years.
Yeah,
wow.
I mean, you would. Hopefully, I'm hoping by then. I mean, surely we are. Everything's hopefully getting back to normal.
Yeah. Unless if we have some major screw up, I'd imagine.
Well, you just jinxed us. Good job, Beans.
Yeah, we're gonna have a civil war now.
Oh my goodness, Beans.
Beans. You just. That was like the Beans Thanos snap. Now it's.
I just deleted half of the United States. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, we don't know it yet, but it's just like we're gonna walk out and the tree's gonna be gone.
I hope I go upstairs and my family's still here. Beans, your snap better not have taken them.
I'm sorry, dude. No promises. Hey, they had a 50-50 chance. Just like, whoa, is Thanos Harvey Dent? You just get the chances. You just get 50-50, son. That's all you get. I think Thanos is Harvey Dent confirmed.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are about out of time. We want to thank again, Manny. Thank you for coming on the podcast. It's not as great a milestone as the first guest, but you are the second guest on BeansTalk, so you can make yourself your own trophy. We're not sending you.
Second is the best. No, yeah, I'm making my trophy. Don't worry.
All right.
Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of BeansTalk. We'll be back next week. Hopefully, I believe we may. Next week might be special because it is the week of Christmas, and we're just gonna go ahead and just say something now. We're gonna have kind of a special episode. That's all I'm gonna say.
I want that special episode so bad.
Yes, it's coming. Thank you guys so much. Beans, take us out with another improv outro.
All right. I got this. We tried to make you happy by inviting Manny. I hope that joy is lasting, or at least laugh at me. Goodbye. Love you all.
That was great. Thanks, guys. Thanks for tuning in.